Hi everyone, I am Katie, the Crafty Blog Stalker, and on today's episode we are going to be converting an Epson EcoTank home printer into a sublimation printer. So if this is the first time you see my videos, please subscribe and ring that bell. Now, what exactly is converting? Converting a printer sounds super duper scary and something that you don't want to try because it sounds too technical. Well, let me tell you, converting a printer, especially a brand new printer like this one, we haven't even taken it out of the box yet, is super duper easy. It is basically just putting the sublimation ink into the printer instead of the ink that comes with the printer. That's it. So don't let the word convert a printer scare you off into trying sublimation printer with an Epson EcoTank. We are going to be using the Epson EcoTank 2720, and once I take it out of the box, I will give you more specifics of this exact machine. Now you can really convert any Epson EcoTank. It needs to be an EcoTank printer into sublimation. There are some Epson printers that you can do cartridges, but I highly suggest the EcoTanks. They're super simple and you don't have to worry about the cartridges at all. Here's our printer out of the box. The first thing we're gonna do is just remove all the plastic from it and take off all of these tape pieces that are securing everything in place. So we just want to go around the machine and make sure that we get all of those off. So we've got all the tape and packaging off of our printer. The printer comes with a disc for installation. If your computer takes a disc, you can also download it from the internet. Some instructions. Now we are going to follow these instructions loosely because we're going to be using our own ink, not the ink that comes with the machine. It does come with ink, but we aren't going to use these. We're just going to toss them and not even use them because that you don't want to mix inks. And then of course the power cord. It comes with the power cord. But we do not want to plug in our printer until after we have filled up our EcoTanks. So let's go ahead and take a look at our EcoTanks and why this printer is so amazing for sublimation. I'm going to go ahead and flip this little lid for our EcoTanks, and hopefully you can see these little cartridges right here. Well, they're not even really cartridges, they're tanks. These are just the openings to each tank. And then behind is the label with the coordinating tank. So we've got black, yellow, magenta, and cyan. These four colors will make up all of the colors that you use for printing. And if we close this, you can also see down here, there's actually a window into each of the tanks. So you can see if one color is getting low, which is nice because then you only have to refill the one color, say if you use a lot of black. There are lots of different sublimation inks to choose from when converting an Epson EcoTank. I went with Printers Jack sublimation ink. This ink can be found on Amazon, and of course I'll leave a link for it. And the reason I went with Printers Jack is because it has great reviews. There are thousands of 5-star reviews on Amazon. It is moderately priced. You can find sublimation inks anywhere between like $15 to $20, upwards of $50 to $60 for the 4 ink set. This was about $30, so it was moderately priced. And the other thing I love about Printers Jack is that it comes in bottles that are already compatible with the EcoTank printer. Here is the Epson ink, and it comes with the bottle, so it can easily be, the ink can easily be placed in the EcoTank with the top, and Printers Jack has the same exact bottles. So I don't have to mess with syringes or anything like that because the bottles fit onto the EcoTanks. So let's go ahead and fill up our EcoTank with our Printer's Jack Sublimation ink. We're going to open up our EcoTank, and again, we're going to follow those labels behind, and we will start with black. So we're just going to flip open this little black compartment. We're going to grab our black Printer's Jack Sublimation ink. And there you can see the top. This top fits right on top of the top in the EcoTank. And we're just going to slide that on. And our ink, you can see down here, our ink is automatically starting to flow into the tank. Now you do not want to squeeze the bottle while it is filling, because you can add air bubbles. So just let it fill and just watch as that sublimation ink fills up, and then you can remove the bottle from the top here. All right, that is full, so we're going to lift the bottle and put the lid back on. See, there was no mess at all. I love that there is no mess. The bottles do come with gloves, but with these tops, you really don't even need them. So we're going to close that, and next we're going to go to yellow. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take off that lid, twist it off, open the yellow, and then place this top over the nozzle of the tank. And it will also start to fill. Now this is all you have to do to convert. Converting is just putting sublimation ink into the printer instead of the regular printer ink that comes with the machine. So we're going to continue this, and we're also going to do magenta and cyan as well. So now we're filling our last tank, the cyan, with the ink, and I noticed something with the yellow that was really neat. It stops filling on its own once it's full. So you can see that it's there, and maybe you can even hear it if I'm really quiet, but it'll stop when the tank is full. It is full, so it has stopped, so I can remove my ink, and I love that it is drip proof. Nothing comes out. It only comes out when it's against that nozzle of the EcoTank. Now that we have the sublimation ink in our EcoTank printer, now we can plug it in. We aren't plugging it into our computer yet. We are just plugging it into some power. So I'm going to move it over here to this side because my outlet is on this side. And we are going to plug it in. All right, now we are plugged in, and we are going to turn the machine on, and then we are going to follow the prompts on the screen right here. I thought I was recording, but I was not, and I already started this, and I can't restart it. So I'm just going to show you. I turned on the machine, and then it says right here, when instructed to see the Start Here sheet, press and hold the question mark button for 5 seconds. So that's what I did. I held this little question mark button for 5 seconds, and then a screen popped up and said, do you have your ink in? Basically, which we had. We had already placed our ink in the machine, and so it needs to charge the ink, which is basically prime the lines of the printer so that it can print. And to start that, to hit this button right here. So I did that, and now that's where we are right now. We are charging the ink. And if you look over here, our ink levels are actually starting to go down a little bit, because that is what the machine is doing, is pulling that ink into those lines so that it can print. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while it finishes out this 10 minutes, and then I will start it back up. We are done, so we're going to press the OK button. And now we are going to work on our print quality. So we're going to go ahead and click on adjust. So OK to proceed. We're going to put some copy paper into the back of the machine. We aren't using sub paper just yet. We're just going to use some copy paper. And we are using a plain paper, so we're going to confirm that. And now we're going to perform a print head nozzle check to check print quality. So we are going to print. Even pull our little tray out here, and we are ready to print. Now this little panel right here does move back and forth, however is most comfortable for you to use it. I'm using it out a little bit just so you can see the screen a little bit better. Okay, so now we're gonna look at our printout. Whoops, hit the camera. We're gonna look at our printout, and it's asking on the screen, are there any missing segments? And it's talking about right here. Now I know the yellow is kind of hard to see. We've got our black, our yellow, magenta, and our cyan. We are missing a tiny little piece right there, but that isn't anything to worry about. So we are going to go ahead and click on no, and we are going to proceed. So now it wants to look for misalignment and banding. So we are going to go ahead and click on adjust, and we're going to proceed with that, and we're going to print. All right, so now we've got this little sheet here with all of these boxes. So now what we're going to do is we are going to look at each line, and we are going to pick the best line with the best print quality without any lines or streaks. So looking at line 1, I would say box 3 is the best box. So we're going to come over here, and it says best 3, or box 3 is the best box. So we're going to click OK, and we're going to proceed. Now for line 2, ooh, it's a toss-up between 5 and 6. I'm going to say 5 is a little bit better. So we come here and we go to 5. And we do that for all of the lines. Okay, and now we're going to load another sheet, and we're going to print. Okay, and now we are looking for lines that are separated or overlapped. So we're going to click on OK to continue. And which one of these looks the best? With no separation, perfectly aligned. I'm going to say it's number 2. I think it's number 2. I'm going to say number 2. Okay, now you can see that our print alignment is done, and so we are ready to connect our printer to our computer. The first thing we're going to do is come to our printer and go to Wi-Fi setup. We are going to do the Wi-Fi recommended. We're going to proceed, and then we're going to do the wizard, setup wizard. It's going to search for our internet, and then I'm going to search for our internet. Mine is Blog Stalker 1, so we're going to select that, and then I'm going to type in my passwords. And we have connected via the internet, so we don't need to print the report. Now we're going to go to the computer. Now I have a Mac, so this may look a little bit different on your computer if you have a PC. We are going to go to System Preferences, Printers and Scanners, and we are going to click this little plus button to add a new printer. And you can see right here, is our new printer. It found it because of the Wi-Fi. We're both connected to the Wi-Fi. So we're going to add that printer. And now it is in my list of printers to use. Now that everything is set up and ready to go, now comes the fun part where we get to actually print something and apply sublimation to a project. So I've already got a project that I have designed on my computer in Adobe Illustrator, so let's go to that. This is a design I made for my daughter to go on a sublimation mug using the Cricut mug press. I'm not going to go into how I designed this in this video, but I do want you to notice how I mirrored the design. When you sublimate, you have to mirror the print for it to come out the right way when you do the sublimation. So I went ahead and mirrored it here. Now I'm ready to print. It's going to bring up that print dialog box. And up here I select the printer that I want to use, which is the 2720, the one we just converted. And then I'm going to come over here to set up. Let's not show this again. We're going to continue. And I want to make sure that the media quality is the best. And let's see if there's anything else I need to change. I already flipped it, so I don't have to do it there. Automatic is perfect. I don't want to change the size because I've already got it sized how I need it. Okay, so let's go ahead and print. But before we click that button, I just want to show you what paper I am using. I am using the A-Sub 120G. This is kind of a mid-weight sub paper. It was what was recommended for this machine through lots of my research. And with sub paper, there is a white side, which is the front side, and there is a back side that has their logo on it. So you want to make sure that you are always printing on the white side. So we're going to go ahead and load that A-Sub paper into the machine. And now I can click print on my computer. So there is our print, and you can see that the print is a little bit dull, and that's kind of how sublimation works. You don't really get the vibrance until you heat it with either a heat press or a mug press. So let's go ahead and get this ready to put on our mug. We have everything that we need now to make our mug. We have our print, our butcher paper liner, our mug, a lint roller, and some heat tape. So the first thing we want to do is just go around our mug. And this is a Cricut sublimation mug. This won't work on any mug. You have to have sublimation blanks or sublimation bases. And I'm going around with the lint roller just to make sure that there's no little pieces of hair or dust on the mug that can interfere with the transfer. Now I'm going to take our print, and I want the ends to be even around the handle. So first I'm just going to kind of eyeball it before I tape it, because I want that to be even. And that looks pretty good to me. So then we're going to take our tape and tape one side down. And pull the paper as tight as we can without ripping it. And lay it down, and we're going to tape that piece down as well. Okay, now we also want to be aware of our top pieces. So I'm going to take a long piece and just put some tape over those two. Because if any part isn't tight down, then the sublimation print will be lighter on those spots. Now with the mug press, that really helps secure everything down, but just to be safe, I'd hate to waste a blank, so I'm gonna put those down. Now this is my kind of protective layer to make sure that I don't get anything extra on my heat press, because sometimes the inks can bleed through the paper. So we're gonna put this sheet on too to protect our heat press. And we're gonna do the same thing, secure it in place with a piece of tape. Like that. And here is our mug press. I love this machine. So to put our mug in, we don't have to worry about setting temperature or anything like that. Cricut just knows. The Cricut mug press is all-knowing, which is why it's so amazing. So we're gonna open up the press, and then we're going to put our mug in. We're gonna put it in at a bit of an angle so the paper doesn't get caught on the sides. And then we're going to center our handle and close that lever. And when we close that lever, that automatically starts the timer as well. All right, we are back and the time has come to unwrap our mug so we can see our finished product after converting our Epson EcoTank printer. So I'm just gonna turn it over. Now that's our butcher paper piece. That's like our protective piece. And then I'm gonna peel the tape up. Ooh, I'm so excited to see it. And oh my gosh, you guys, this looks awesome. I don't know why I sing when I get happy. There is our mug. Has my beautiful daughter's mug on it. And it says, "Congrats, Allie. The easiest years of your life are over. Class of 2021. I love it. I'm so excited about all of the sublimation projects that I'm going to be sharing with you and doing for gifts and stuff like that for my friends and family. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Again, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming tutorials. And of course, you can always find me at my home base at thecraftyblogstalker.com. Thanks everyone. Bye and happy crafting.